Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Racing to Sunrise. Here we're going to talk about the new and latest update from Forza, and it is the NASCAR series, and I was pretty excited about it. It's something different. I enjoy watching NASCAR, so I'm going to do a lot of comparison between the two, and this race I'm doing out of the car since it has more turns in it that may create a little chaos, as you're gonna see. Yeah, typical Forza slash NASCAR. In the second race, I'm going to do in-car, and we're going to race at Daytona, and then kind of go over some of the stuff that I like about it, and some of the stuff that's still Forza feeling. As I make it through the first turn, the first lap, I had a little minor incident, but it wasn't a big deal, and then I just need to drink some coffee, because I don't know what happened there. Get back on the track, try to take off, and, well, got moved out of the way in typical NASCAR fashion, which is fine. I took it. I was in the way, obviously. He door checks himself against the wall. I cruise right on by. As I touch on a few notes here, I was checking out the look of the car. They did a very good job of the shape of the car, the inside, the outside, the way the wheels look. I mean, they actually spent some time and did it right. They all the manufacturers look like an actual NASCAR, which I thought was pretty cool of them to do. And they went outside the box, which is really cool too. I was not expecting them to go the NASCAR route, but I think it will bring more people in to the Forza space, which I think will be good for everybody. It probably will bring amateur type drivers like myself in, and even beginners. So you just kind of have to battle through a lot of these people, which is kind of par for the course, being kind of arcade style sim. That's what I expect. I'm not paying the big bucks for the iRacing quite yet. So eventually, maybe I get there. As we come out of turn 2 here, I don't know if you guys noticed the white, black, and red car we passed earlier. Well, I get a little shove into the turn. Goes by, maybe he missed his braking point, but I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Some people, I give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, you hit me, I'm gonna let you go through. I'm gonna make a clean pass on you again, in the same corner I did last time. Gave you a little tap, but I didn't get you out of sorts. Drive it in deep here. Here we are in the same corner, and just get moved out of the way. Well, nah. You ain't gonna get away with that twice, because I'm not that kind of guy. I'm gonna give you one time. You're gonna get away with it one time. Second time, coming back. So now I'm driving with a little bit more purpose into this corner, and I'm figuring he's probably going to do that to this guy as well, and then he loses his car again, like he has the last 3 corners there. Now, here we go, payback, shoulder shrug it. That's what Ross Chastain would do. But I got slapped with a 4-second penalty. It was worth it to me, because he was going to keep ruining my race if not. So I'll never hit the S-Class ever again in safety ratings. That just is what it is. Just based off of silly stuff like that. I just can't take it for so long. But I gained an incredible amount of time on Chase Elliott here. I'm trying to set up a good pass for this guy, and hoping I do not have the same outcome as the last. But he sees that he's been beaten, and he lets off early and lets me by, and I tip my hat to him. I appreciate it a ton. Good driver. Alright, as we move ahead to lap 11, we're chasing down P8 here. I'm trying to set up a good pass. A good run off this corner. It has been a little bit of a challenge getting out of that corner without sliding the rear out. As I apex the corner a little bit different, I get a good run off. And get right up to his back bumper. I feel like he broke a little bit too early, but I think his line changed a little bit and it created a different braking point for him. So hopefully he does not retaliate. We'll touch on the sound of the cars. I think the sound is pretty good. The very, very low side of the car tone isn't quite what NASCAR sounds like, but the low, mid and high, all that sounds like a true NASCAR or stock car from NASCAR, from the Cup Series. As my computer stutters a little bit here for some reason, don't know, but we're going to move forward. Give Patchy Griggs a little tap, let him know I'm there, but I don't want to wreck him. Just kind of want to get him a little bit nervous, but he's not biting on that at all. Got a little tap into the wall, take the inside line, and we make a little contact. When I get past him, I move to lap 22. And this is after I pit, and I approach the leader, which has not pit yet, and got turned. I felt like I had a decent line. I probably ran him a little bit wide, but I got turned, and yeah, wasn't too pleased about that because it kind of ruined my movement forward to at least catch a podium. This is the fastest lap I ran by myself on medium tires late in the race with the rubbered down track. I'm focusing on hitting later braking points where I can carry good speed through the corners and just trying to hold on in a corner and hold it as long as I can. And then I run a 33.89, which is pretty good as far as I can tell. I have not a lot of people to compare it to so far, but within this lobby, I was, I think, with the top 3 for sure. But in this track too, one thing that I set up was I maxed out the aero, full aero on the front and back. They seem to do a pretty decent job holding the corners. There's more tuning that needs to be done on these cars off the hit that would make them better, and I have yet to do that yet. I just wanted to kind of get in some lobbies and see how it was first, and then I've tuned a little bit here and there. Talk a little bit more about aero in the next race, because we're taking it to Daytona, which was pretty fun too. Might be a little bit boring on the eyes, but in car, actually racing it was pretty fun. So yeah. As we turn to lap 30 here, chasing down a guy who's probably on some worn out tires, as I went hard medium on this track, and it seemed to actually be a good combination, because I still have tire life left, and I'm pulling up to these guys now with a lot more speed than them. And I kind of get bumped a little bit wide there. I could have put that on myself. I could have taken a different angle on that corner. But it is what it is. I was just getting caught up in the moment trying to pass him any way I could. And didn't really set up any kind of pass. here. I just want to get close behind him and see that his tires are scorched. Sneak up the inside and the infamous corner that is Eagle Rock. Well, you betcha. Get turned again in the same corner for the 4th time. So yeah, that's been the exciting moments. It's not the cars, it's the drivers that just want to drive it in. I mean, for what? Like, we're battling for 4th position at this point. I have a 4-second penalty. Anyways, I realize I can't let this one go either. I've had enough this race, and I try to drive in the same way he does to me, and it seemed like he was on rails for some reason. And to add more entry to insult throughout this race, I just run into the wall in embarrassing fashion. You're welcome. I wanted to include that to show my own humility. You're welcome. Now we're moving on to Daytona in car. Wanted to embrace my inner NASCAR and go at it in car and see what I could do with the proximity meter right in front of my face. Trying to work with that and see what's in front of me at the same time. It was a good one. I think this race would have been a lot better if everybody got rid of their aero for this race. That's going to be important in these Daytona races, and I'm not sure about Homestead yet, but with the no aero, your car handles still very well. So for better racing, take the aero all the way off, and you're going to be out there screaming with everybody in the front. As you can see, some of the guys in the back, they just faded to the back with too much aero, and they're not able to hang with anybody. The only way they would probably be able to hang is if they got behind one of us in the draft, but when they're out of the draft and they lose someone in front, that's it. They're not going to catch back up. So it's pretty important on these big tracks. You're not going to need the aero that you would need on like an Eagle Rock or something with a lot of corners with no banking. See this guy, he's dropping like a rock as well. Interesting enough, if you can focus ahead, there's a blue car that is trying his damnedest to make a pass on the white car, and doesn't seem to be able to get the pass done as he's bumping his way through. And they're just running into each other, and he gets absolutely slammed in the wall. Thank God for the car ghosting, because if not, I would have destroyed him and my car. As I was telling you about that, the reason for it was the guy reported me and sent me a nasty message saying that I wrecked him and blocked him. So if you guys are going to send a message like that, at least do your homework and make sure you're targeting the right guy. But you know, anyways, moving back to the race. Looks like they're starting another line, so I hang down on the bottom side. I'm having to let off the gas a little bit, because at the time, I did not realize that being in the draft right behind somebody, you will actually lose aero. I was kind of surprised by that. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but when I get behind somebody, the handling of the car is not the same as if you're in fresh air. I got loose. I did not realize that at this stage of the race. Later on, I was like, wow, I'm very loose. And as I got fresh air, my car handled better. And I thought that was actually a well done piece that maybe a lot of people might not notice, and I don't know if it was like that originally without NASCAR or if it was added with NASCAR. I'm not really sure, because I never raced a big track with cars like this in the draft. But when I got up front here, I was able to hold a steady line. And the attention to detail like that in a game goes a long way with me. because that's what I enjoy about the racing games, is their attention to details. Yeah, racing games good when you put other cars out there, but when you can pay attention, like tire deformation, drafting, I like that stuff, because I'll really pick it apart and use it and try to better my racing experience. As you can see, we are a tight-knit group, but as you'll see, that will not last very long. And I think if we can stay this route, we will able to finish this race out all together like this and see how it plays out in the final lap. And there I had a brain slip, if you will, and drove off the track. Not really sure what happened there, but I was able to let off the gas and lose time and not get a penalty for that. So that's a little tip for you guys. If you get off the gas and don't gain any time, the guy in front gains time on you and the guy behind you gains time on you, then I think you will avoid a penalty, which is fine by me. And here I'm testing out the draft. I wanted to jump out of the draft, see how fast I was. As you can see, I fell back a little bit. Just kind of playing around with the different aspects of drafting in Forza right now. And I mean, it seems to be true to form as far as actual racing goes, I think. I've never been in NASCAR though. I'm just kind of watching it on TV and seeing how cars react and how other race car drivers say their cars react. And here I hit the wall again, and I need to take another sip of coffee, and I credit Chris Farley for that one, because that guy's hilarious, or was hilarious. He was one of my favorite actors. Anyways, moving forward, we're staying in the draft and watching these guys have a field day in front of us as I get easily back up to the car at first and watch them beat and bang against each other. The guy on the bottom is having a hard time keeping it on the apron. Looks like Dale Jr. and Dale Sr. racing at it again. I'm telling you, when you're racing in this, it don't look like a whole lot as you watch it, but behind the wheel, it's a good time. I'm telling you. If you watch my wheel in car, it is very accurate as to what I'm actually doing on the wheel. So it's constantly moving as we go back and forth. And here is my newest gripe with the NASCAR update. The lap cars are not ghosted anymore. So they get in the way a lot. It's kind of a problem, because we were all having a good time up front, and some guy just decides to get in the way just to spite us for being in the front, and because their car is not fast enough. So that's kind of a little frustrating part of the update, but I get they want to embrace kind of the NASCAR vibe of using a lap car to set a pick, I guess, in NASCAR terms would say. I don't know. I kind of got a little irritated with that in this race, because I thought we were having a good time up front, messing around, and wanted to see how it would play out organically. So after switching to the on the hood, I just wanted to see a different angle, see what it was like. And I wanted the mirror up top as well for a little bit of this race to see what it was like looking in the mirror without actually having to look behind me. Which I was kind of surprised to see that the in-car did not have a mirror. So I don't know if that would be a later addition or they're just going to scrap the idea as a whole. Not really sure. Now check this out right here. This is a daggum trip. This guy comes out of the pits and out of nowhere is in front of me. Well, I got to jump off the track, and this guy says it all. I mean, what is going on? We come back up to the lap car. This guy is just getting in the way. Like, I don't know what we gotta do to get lap cars ghosted again. We just gotta voice our opinions as a community, I guess. And as you can see, we were running 1-2, car got in the way, and the other two just breezed right on by us. There's me and Dale and Marcin here getting hooked back up. We're trying to make another charge to the front. Able to gain a significant amount of time on these guys, but we are making time. As you can see up top, time going down from 1.2 seconds to 0.9 so far. So I think there is advantages to drafting the right person and doing it the right way. This guy, Mark Knocker, behind me is actually doing a very good job pushing. I think he's watched NASCAR before. As we run into the pits, I was not sure if my tires were going to make it all the way to the end. So I ran it in, as this was the first race I've been on this track. Wasn't sure if the hards were going to do it. I went in just to be safe. I didn't want to have a car that was ill handling at the end of the race. I just think that ruins it for me. When you're driving on just burnt out tires, I don't know. You get a win that way, it just doesn't feel that good as winning on the fresh tires. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I get a good draft from this guy. Try to give him a good push, and I see the lap car coming back up, so I try to kind of divert his attention either one way or the other so we don't just get taken out, and we managed to squeeze by another lap car, if not the same one. I'm not 100% sure. There's just a few blue cars out here, and as I'm driving around the track here, I soon realize that the guy in first is still on his hard set and has not been in the pits so far. We come up to the second place driver. We split right around him just like in NASCAR. And we pass another lap car again without accident. I'll tell you what, if you do not get in the draft quickly, you will lose the draft. And the fourth place was quite far behind. As you see, he has fallen back to 9.5 seconds, and we have gained on the leader 8 seconds as he was driving by himself. Check this out. This guy veers right in front of us. And let's take a look at the penalty system. 2 seconds. Moving on from the race, I think the NASCAR update was amazing. And I think there's work to be done to it to make it even better, but I've been very pleased with the outcome. If you made it this far, hit the like button. Have a good one.